Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about the REM and NREM stages of sleep. So first we're going to talk about NREM. NREM is non-rapid eye movement. It's when your brain slows down. And REM stands for rapid eye movement, which means you're having dreams and your eyes are having rapid eye movement. They're moving because you're looking around in your dreams and they're the only thing that keeps moving while the rest of your body is paralyzed. It's called sleep paralysis, so that you don't act out the weird stuff you do in your dreams. The stuff you do in your dreams is pretty weird, and it's weird how you don't realize that it's actually a dream, because the stuff you do is like flying, you get infinite stuff. It's just really weird that you don't normally realize it's a dream. But back to NREM. NREM is non-rapid eye movement. If you wanted to be reminded, it's where your brain slows down and it can get some rest, and it just likes it. Most of the night you're in NREM. There's sometimes you could have a dream during NREM. It's not very likely though. While REM, you are gonna have a dream during REM. There's a 100% you are going to have a dream during REM unless you have a disorder where you can't have dreams. Dreams are usually very important because they can be a method how to cope with stuff that has just happened in your life, like anything that you don't like or anything that has been a happy event. They're just a way to cope with that so that your brain can understand it. And that's what we think of right now, what your dreams are. When we're not dreaming, what they think is that our brain just stops. It doesn't stop, it just slows down. It still has movement. It doesn't mean it stops though. Because if the brain stops, then your heart's going to stop, because the brainstem controls your heart and your lungs. Then you're not going to be alive. But back to NREM, it doesn't have too many things about it that are unique. Most things happen in REM that happen in NREM, except its only unique thing is that you don't have a dream and it's just your brain slowing down, just like it does whenever you start to go to sleep, and whenever you wake up it's still slow. You usually have REM 4 or 5 times during the night. Your latest one usually 4 to 6 hours, but if you have a longer sleep schedule, you'll have them a bit later in your sleep. The the more you sleep, the more REM stages you'll have, and the less you sleep, the less you'll have, and the more NREM you'll have. You just have these REM stages at specific times. They usually get longer the more during the night that they go. If you notice that you don't have dreams, it's probably because you actually do, and it's just that you don't remember it because the part that stores your memory is not fully awake, and it doesn't really record the dreams in your memory. That's really why you do not remember your dreams, even though you have 3 to 5 every night. If you sleep not much, you'll have 3. If you sleep a lot, you'll have 5. Lots of people usually get between 7 to 10 hours of sleep. That usually provides them with 4 to 5. And the REM sleep happens in stages, so it comes for like 10 minutes, or it can be seconds to minutes each time, until usually the last period, where it lasts a few minutes to even an hour. If you manage to last it to an hour, then you're pretty good. Then you're pretty lucky if you have a REM stage that lasts to an hour. But you have dreams every night. Even if you don't think you're having them, you probably have them, unless you have a rare disorder where it prevents you from having those dreams while you're sleeping. If you're wondering, yes, there is a way to be aware in a dream. People call this lucid dreaming. It's basically where you are aware in your dream and you can do basically anything you want, from flying to turning invisible to anything. But if you don't know how to do it, you're probably not going to have it. Usually, a person has it once in their lifetime and doesn't have it too many times. A child is more likely to have it than an adult because they have a bigger imagination than an adult. There are multiple ways to do this. The first one I'm going to talk about is doing a reality check, like putting a finger through your hand. If it doesn't go through, you're in the real world. If it does, you're dreaming. Count your fingers on one hand. If it's 5, you're in the real world. But if it's in the dream, you'll probably have more than 5 or less than 5. But then there's another one where if you look at a sign or something that has text, if you look back at it, if it changes, you're probably in a dream unless you look at a clock and you turn back the minute later. Now there's another which is called mild. It stands for mnemonic induced lucid dreaming. It's basically where you repeat a mantra in your head like I will lucid dream tonight and something like that. And then there's another one with filed. And then filed is mild but a bit weirder. Filed is where you wake up in the middle of the night, usually 4 to 6 hours. That's when your longest REM stage is. And then when you're going to go back to sleep, you're supposed to wiggle your fingers to keep your brain awake. And when you stop wiggling your fingers, keep that motion in your head so it keeps your brain awake while your body goes to sleep. Usually you want to wake up 4 to 6 hours to do this. There's another too called wild, wake-induced lucid dreaming, which is filed, where you wake up and then you just focus on the sound in your room instead of moving your fingers. To bed, instead of focusing on something, you're supposed to wake up in the middle of the night, stay awake for 30 minutes to get your brain active in a time it shouldn't, and then go back to sleep. It'll increase your lucid dream chances, but if you try one of these methods in the middle of the night too much, it could cause very bad sleeping things that you really do not want. It can cause you not to be able to fall asleep and lots of other not good stuff. And a few tips for beginners are that you keep a dream journal, because if you keep a dream journal, then you'll be able to remember your dreams, because what is the use of a lucid dream if you can't remember it because your hippocampus is not awake? Another thing is that you should always remember to write in it in the morning to make sure that you don't forget the dream, because 5 minutes you usually forget 50%. In 10 minutes you usually forget up to 90% of your dream, because it's really hard to remember your dream because the hippocampus is barely switched on. Your lucid dreams last longer by stabilizing them. You want to get sensations from your dreams, like rubbing your hands together or spinning around. There's another way to prevent it from stopping. If you get too excited, the adrenaline could wake you up. It's not 100%. There's also another thing. Don't think about waking up, because thinking of your physical body brings you away from what you're dreaming about, so that you'll lose focus and might wake up or go into a normal dream that you're not lucid in, which you want to stay in the lucid dream if you want to do whatever you want. It's very important to stay in the lucid dream if you want to do it, because if you don't stay in it, you probably won't last too long in it. Do something wrong, you probably will not last long in your lucid dream, because if you do something wrong, it could lead to your lucid dream becoming a normal dream, or you just waking up and be like, why did I wake up? False awakenings, where you get out of bed and continue during your morning, even though while you're sleep still. It's really annoying, but if you do enough reality checks, you'll probably check and see that you're actually in your dream instead of actually being in the real world. Thank you for watching this video, and bye. See you in the next one.